Hey chess fans, I would recommend watching this video at 1.5 or even 2x speed because even though I like to do commentary, sometimes I need to shut up and think. It just makes it go by a lot faster. I am trying to climb back up to my peak rapid rating of 1100. I dropped all the way down to like the 900s now. And yeah, just taking it one game at a time and just trying to play solid chess and not blunder. Just don't blunder. Okay, so here we go. We're going to go live on Instagram. All right, we're live. And let's start our game. Let's see. Searching. We're playing Juana Swatch from Canada. And I'm playing with the white pieces. I am going to go c4. I've played this opening so many times. I love the English opening. I've played it so much that I don't want to play it anymore. I think I was playing it a little bit improperly, but then I learned about the Botvinnik English system, which has refined it a little bit. Typically starts out with obviously c4 and then either e4 or knight c3. But now right from the get-go he's pushing d5. And this is under 1,000 chess, so I spend a lot of time thinking in the openings because I want the foundation of the game to be strong. So obviously the question here is take or don't take. I don't want him to push. I don't think I want him to push d4. Yeah, I really don't want him to push d4. Because even if I go knight f3 to cover that, it doesn't do anything. I can't take because his queen's right there. I don't want to just do the simple thing and just take. Just take. Because this is the thing about openings at like the under 1,000 level is you know like one or two moves and it's like, oh, I didn't see this before. And I know I've seen exactly this before, but I'm trying to think what the best thing to do here is. I don't know that there's a better thing to do than just take. I'll just take. Fine, whatever. So he'll retake. I already don't like this. Let me see here. I mean, I could push e3 to cover d4. Pretty sure this just transposed into something else. Caro-Kann defensive system to the English opening. That's interesting. That's what the website's saying. I think pushing e3 works. I can push d4. Or, well, really, I'm thinking knight f3. I feel a little bit passive, though. E3 feels a little bit passive. I like to be right in the center. And as I said in the last game, I spend a lot of time in the opening. At the level that I'm at, it's like I'm not like one of these upper rated players that knows all these lines or has like a much better grasp of openings. Like I know a handful of openings, maybe 3 moves deep, but that's about it. So I tend to go super slow in the opening because it's the foundation of the entire rest of the game. And I've even blundered in the opening. Like 2 weeks ago, I had a tournament match, my first ever chess tournament, and I blundered a knight on move 4. Like, oh my god, how? So I try to be sharp from the get-go and really think everything out so I have a strong foundation. He's pushing e5 right now. If I push this and everything gets exchanged, there could be a black pawn and a white pawn here, symmetrical. I don't like the idea of him pushing e4. I don't like that. Already, I don't like this. I feel uncomfortable right now. I feel like if I go knight f3, even if he pushes, I can put my knight in the center, and then all he can really do is, I guess, attack it with the bishop. In which case I could just take, and yeah, he still have a better center, I think. What are other options? I cannot push d3. That's just way too passive. If I push d4 and he pushes e5, I mean, that at that point his center just looks better. And because of the 2 pawns on the queen side, I'm thinking of castling king side. I think I'll go knight f3. And you know, it's probably funny to like a lot of higher rated players to see someone thinking so much about like simple moves in the opening, but this is where like I think it's so easy to mess up at the like under 1000 or under 1200 level. Like you're not spending enough time thinking exactly about why you should do or not do something in the opening, and then your foundation's screwed up for the whole rest of the game. Okay, so he's defending that e5 pawn with his bishop. I'm still looking out for that e4 push, but I think I would just put my knight here. I don't know that he can really do anything about that. Worst case scenario, he just attacks it with the bishop, and then we can exchange here, and then it's symmetrical. I want to get this bishop out, though. The light squared bishop doesn't go to... Will this website just let you go anywhere? Oh, apparently the light squared bishop can go to dark squares now. That's amazing, chess.com. What else? I want this bishop out, and I want a castle. So where? I mean, I could check. He just goes there. That's not really an option. Obviously, that's not an option. Can't go here because then he has the fork with e4. So really, if I want to move this bishop, it's got to be e2 or b5. I'll go b5 with check. And he's either going to counterattack me with the bishop or block with his knight. This center is very much content. Oh, no. Oh yeah, see, he blocked his own defender. His queen was defending his pawn. So I'm gonna take. Now he has to retake, and I'm gonna win a pawn. Sweet. Central pawn in the opening. That's good. Take. Okay, I feel good about that. You could argue that at 900 level chess, one pawn doesn't. I mean, being down a queen doesn't necessarily mean anything in 900 level chess, but a central pawn, is good. I feel like I think about kind of like winning the opening. Obviously you want to win the game, but I like the concept of winning the opening. Like, who's better by move 8 or 10 or something, like who had the best opening principles, who blundered or didn't blunder. Like, as far as I'm concerned, in an opening, like, that was probably, the engine probably wouldn't call it a blunder, but it's in the context of openings, it's kind of a blunder, dropping a central pawn. I kind of just want to plop my knight right in the center. That obviously doesn't make sense. I'm not going to put him on the edge of the board. Yeah, I think just putting him right in the center makes the most sense. And yeah, he does have that e4 pawn, but I think he's going to have a hard time defending that. I don't like playing dumb chess. Like, and chess under 1,000 or under 1,200 can be a little dumb because people are still making mistakes and not seeing things and just blundering. But like, I like just not blundering, just play solid chess, because then it's like, yeah, every pawn, every piece really does matter. You know, I try not to always have the mentality of like, well, it doesn't matter if I'm up or down a rook because anything can happen because it's low rated chess. But, you know, if I play solid, then those advantages make a big difference, you know? That is my focus right now, because just my last game that I played on stream, my game rating for the game was 1600. I can play like a 1600. The reason I'm 900 is because of consistency. I feel like that's really the difference between 900 and 1600, is that I guess 1600s are probably just more consistent at playing at that level and not blundering. So that is one of my main goals right now, is just don't blunder. If you don't blunder versus an opponent who blunders, you win. It's that simple. And I've thrown so many games that I've won just because I wasn't going through my mental checklist. I'm trying to establish a rigid mental checklist of every single time they move, check, what is it attacking? And every single time before I move, check, is this a blunder? Specifically meaning, am I moving this piece where it's immediately going to be recaptured or open up to some other tactic? But the most simple thing is, am I doing something silly and dumb, like moving a piece in front of a pawn? I've done that. Not in front, but off to the side where it's going to get captured. I've done that recently. You know, it doesn't feel good to be wanting to play good chess and then you do something like that. So goal is don't blunder. We have knight f6. He's attacking my knight. If I capture, I kind of like that. If I capture, that's going to mess up his pawn structure on this side, which I love doing. Other ideas. My legal moves are here. That's not legal. That's not smart. That's not smart. That's not smart. I wouldn't want that. That feels like retreating. That doesn't make any sense. You know what? Do it. There we go. Doubled pawns for you, sir. No, he's probably... I don't know what he's going to do. If he actually decides to castle kingside, then he's going to have a horrible king safety. And, you know, if he goes queenside, he'll only have 2 pawns protecting him. I'm just going to castle here. And I'm looking at eventually getting my hands on this e-pawn. So what from here? I'm castled. Have a good center. I don't want to... I could just push d3 and exchange here, but I don't want to exchange pawns. I want that free pawn. It feels like a free pawn, and I want it for free. Not sure if I'd want to attack it with the queen right away when my bishop is undeveloped. Really, the only way to develop my bishop right now is push b3 and then fianchetto. And then all he has to do is push that. Push the f-pawn. Okay, so he's attacking my knight here. I do not like the idea of an exchange and doubling my pawns. But I don't want to trade pieces either. So what do? The only way I can defend that knight is by going queen a4. Then he can push. Then I could go c4. This feels almost a little bit dubious, moving my queen this early. But I don't want to trade pieces. I like to keep material on the board. Create complexity. I'm just trying to check whether this is a blunder or not. Queen a4. He could take here, and then I can just capture his queen. He has to move there, and then I recapture. So that's fine. Other options, we already covered pushing the b pawn. I think it works. Yes, nothing stupid. Okay. I am a little bit worried about having my queen out like that. It doesn't feel right now, because he can push. All right. Okay. Well, I guess we're gonna do this then. You know what? Actually, I can obviously take the queen or take the knight. If I take the queen, he can't castle. And his king safety is looking busted. If I take the knight, I could put the queen in the center of the board. I want complexity. You know, it's a good question, because I do want the complexity of keeping the queens on the board. However, it's not a bad idea to force him to recapture here and just bring his king out into the open. I don't know that I have much in the way of follow-ups, though. I would still have to retake on d4, and I would still have double pawns. I don't want double pawns. I hate double pawns. You know what? Let's capture. That works. attacking this e-pawn, by the way. So he's got to do something here. He can defend with the queen, defend with the f-pawn. Let's do a quick check. Anything hanging? I have no pieces that are hanging. That's good. Right now he has 2, the e-pawn and the f-pawn. Oh wait, nope. B-pawn too. So stuff's hanging. I want your pawns, dog. Give me them pawns. Oh, we have a move. I looked away for a second. Okay, that's interesting. Same choice. I could take his queen and bring him out into the open, or I could just take material. Take material. I like that. Those are both looking pretty good for me, honestly. What do I want? What do I want to do? They're both good options. One takes the queens off the board, though, which I don't want right now. I do really like the idea of bringing his king out into the open and having him lose the right to castle. Decisions. I'm not really worried about his bishop because this b-pawn's being backed up by my bishop right here. I probably would have to move this rook though so I can push this pawn. You know what? Take material. Take material. I'll take that pawn. Okay. Gonna go queen c7. Obviously, he can't take the bishop. Why? Because that makes no sense. I mean, he can still castle. The thing I'm thinking is just rook b1 so I can push the pawn fianchetto and maybe trade off the bishops. Because if I play good, I'm up by 2 points right now. I can, if I play well and don't be silly and blunder, I can convert that into a win. Or I have, here's an idea. I could push f4 because this is pinned to the king and he can't go here or here. Ooh, I like that. That's a tactic. How would he refute it? He could push there. That doesn't make sense. I'll just take... yeah, let's get that bishop. Is this a blunder? Question, is this a blunder? Is he threatening anything? I don't think so. I think that's just a free bishop. I'm pretty sure that's just a free bishop. This should be interesting. You know, something that's interesting is, you know, for most of the time I've been playing, I always just try to have 3 pawns in front of my king. But I've learned from watching Grandmaster games that it's not the end of the world if you only have 2 pawns in front of your king. When I first started, it kind of felt like heresy. Like, no, keep 3 pawns. See, okay, what are we doing here? So if I take, he takes, I retake, and then he has no way to defend this pawn, I don't think. And then that's just more material that I'm up. And up by 3, getting closer to an endgame? I think so. Yeah. Yeah, that's going to win me a pawn. Yeah, I mean, what is he going to do? His king safety is busted right now. Am I up by 5? Yes, I am. Oh, yeah, because I won the bishop. Duh. Okay, so I'm in a solid position. I am winning this game right now. He does castle. Interesting. See, this doesn't mean I've won though. That's the key thing. I forget what Grandmaster said that, but it's about winning the one game. So we got a free pawn right here. I can take it. Attacking another free pawn. Yeah, let's just worsen the material deficit. Take that free pawn. Okay, he defends. He defends with the rook on f8. Tricky situation now because I can't move away from this pawn with my bishop because it's being attacked right now. I mean, now is the time to trade material. I'm up by 6. Maybe think about forcing trades. Force down into a 1 endgame. Yeah, I'm thinking rook f4 and then over to rook d4. Because there's only other options to go here, in which case I guess I could go back. But that would take him off of this, attacking this d pawn. Thinking of pulling the trigger on that. This rook needs to get him into the game though. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna see if I can force some trades. Because trades is the last thing you want when you're down on material, especially heading into an endgame. I've learned that like even being down by 2 towards the beginning of the game it's not the end of the world. 2 does feel a little bit like the end of the world, but like people still make mistakes and blunder at this level. The tricky thing is if they play well, then it's, then you're kind of, out of luck. Okay, so he's gonna attack that. I can just push. Here and solidify this. Yeah, you know what? I don't see any reason why that doesn't make sense. Just push. Solidify that center. So this center is solidified, and now I can think about moving this bishop and getting this rook into the game. Although I'm not really sure where my bishop has to go. Fianchettoing doesn't really make sense because this long diagonal is blocked off by the center. Yeah, he's just making rando moves at this point. I don't think there's a point in fianchettoing, like I just said. So my only other move would be here. So I'm gonna get that bishop out so I can get this rook into the game, and I could probably just double up and double the pressure on there. And I mean, he could go back and defend, but all right. So he's gonna push, or he's gonna bring his rook over to the b file. Whatever. Just push the pawn. The thing is like I have found myself losing games because I allowed counterplay when I was winning, and I don't want him to have any counterplay right now. Although he's wandered away from this pawn. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna swing that rook over. I mean, he could attack the backwards pawn right here. I mean, I could just push that pawn, but then this becomes the new backwards pawn. But then he wouldn't be able to attack because that'd be right here. You know what? That does make sense. This game should go my way if I don't screw up and make some hideous blunder. And he does do that, and I'm going to push a4. Wow, okay. Yeah, he threw in the towel. All right, that's a one game. It's not as satisfying, though. Certainly more satisfying than a timeout like the last guy who gave me a recording that's not even worth putting out on YouTube. Oh, who times out in a 30-minute match? Who does that? But I suppose this is more satisfying. It's better to just play it out and maybe even get a checkmate. But if you enjoyed watching this, definitely hit the like button, subscribe, and especially if you're a chess player, especially if you're better than I am, leave a comment. Let me know about how I can improve, do things a little bit differently, what you thought of the game, and follow along for more chess videos. Thanks.